Kia ora, talawhalava malolele, and welcome to 531 PI. Returning this September, Kōanga Festival celebrates 12 years of Māori and Pacific performing arts with an exciting program that aligns also with Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori. With an exciting program, joining us is Artistic Director Amber Curreen to share what audiences can expect from this year's festival. Amber, malolele, malole soifua, tala mai au, kia ora. Welcome to the show.
Kia ora. Thank you. Tēnā koe.
Well, Amber, let's talk about the heart of Kōanga. Kōanga represents the season of spring, new growth. And how does this year's festival reflect the idea of renewal for Māori and Pacific storytelling?
You know, renewal is a really great word because we've got a lot of new work, a lot of new stories and storytelling. We've got 4 new plays that have been developed over the past few months with Victor Roger that are going to be read for the very first time, which is really exciting. Both Māori and Pacifica stories. It's going to be a really exciting showcase of those new works. But also we've got some incredible shows that are having a renewal and coming back to Aotearoa to perform, like Upu, which is going to be stunning. They've been around the world and they haven't had an Aotearoa show for ages. So looking forward to that too.
Yeah, it's amazing because this year's program is incredibly diverse, from opera to taonga pūoro through to comedy, spoken word and street dance. How important was it to showcase the many different ways of Māori Pacific stories can be told?
I reckon it's really important because we get locked into ideas about what theatre is, what different storytelling is, and what we're used to seeing on stage. But actually, there are so many incredible artists doing incredible things in different art forms. So getting them all together in one place at one time, at the time of spring, where there's all this new growth, I think it's really powerful and impactful. It shows us just how important our stories are, how important our arts are to us as peoples.
Now, the release acknowledges the challenges currently facing the arts sector. Despite that, Kōanga continues to champion Māori and Pacific arts and develop new work. Why is that commitment so important?
I think that we need to keep presenting, so we keep showing that even though times might be really difficult for the arts, they are vital. That's vital and important, and it's not just something that is an extra, an add-on, but our stories and our storytelling is something that is part of who we are. It's not art as separate; it's art as life. You know, this is who we are and what we do. So when we've got our nannies and koros coming along to share their stories and to enjoy some waiata and share their own waiata, that's just part of life. You know, when we've got our kids performing at whānau day coming along and they're doing their siva or they're doing their different dance, their different performance, that's part of life, you know. It's not extra. And while the funding environment is tough, we need to show that how vital it is, how important.
I love that message. One thing that really stands out for this year is the celebration of the language and culture, particularly the festival taking place during Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori. And speaking of Te Reo Māori, now opening the festival of Tā Kiritia, bringing together opera, waiata, poetry and prose celebration of Te Reo Māori. Why was the right event to open the Kōanga 2026?
Also, our whakatauki for the festival is about the Māori storytelling unfurling. So tākiritia is like a call to action for our new stories to unfurl. And this one is really about celebrating the diversity of Te Reo Māori on our stages. You know, we've got new opera from Kawiti, Waitford and other kai whakamāori who have translated and created new opera. So we're really looking forward to sharing those. Also, we've got some amazing kai waiata, amazing singers who are creating brand new Reo Māori works, and we want to showcase that. We want to showcase some of our poets who are making great bilingual and Reo Māori works. You know, we wanted to really bring them together and showcase all the different ways that Te Reo Māori is finding its way to the stage. as our opening, as a statement of intent, for the love of our reo and the love of our reo in stories.
What else do you think audiences will experience from the opening night?
From the opening night, I think it's going to be a little bit fun and glam, like we want to get dressed up,
Yes.
want to get dressed up, come and have some nice kai, listen to some beautiful waiata, hear some beautiful stories, but have a celebratory kind of, night out is what I'm really wanting that to be like. And so that opens up our festival. And then we want people to all come together on the Saturday for our whānau day, which is a really fun day of storytelling from throughout Te Moana Nui Akiwa. We've got stories from Rarotonga, we've got some other kōrero and some other dance from all around different parts of the Pacific, as well as
Amazing.
Aotearoa into Japan. Like we've got different storytelling from around the world for the whole whānau to come along, as well as great kai. So we want people to come along and have a great fun day in that. And then we want people to be just transported through the show Ihi Rangaranga on that same weekend. So we've got lots of different kinds of experiences, and that's just the opening weekend. And then we've got a whole week of other great performances as well.
Amazing. Performing arts help strengthen language revitalization. How do you feel that the performing arts help that, to strengthen that?
Yeah, I think that it's a lot of the time we hear our languages spoken in in ceremonial spaces, especially for Te Reo Māori, but having our reo in lots of different horopaki and lots of different contexts, and also our artists experimenting and trying different things within our languages is really important as well. So I think that the performing arts gives a really great platform for our languages to thrive and to find new ways of being and existing.
Now, another highlight is Ihi Rangaranga, combining taonga puoro, live music, spoken word, live speed painting. It brings together several art forms in one performance. What excites you the most about the collaboration?
Yeah, I really, it's like watching artists jam together. So when you're watching people just kind of jam and they start singing and they hit the different harmonies, and it's just kind of, that they're just finding it right there and then. Yeah, so that's like this, but it's also with the amazing poetry, and then this visual arts, the painting that Regan's doing is responding to the taonga puoro and responding to the poetry. So it's all like this, all different kinds of arts jamming together. And the experience, and I've spoken to a lot of people who've seen this show before, but the experience is just like in the name, Ihi Rangaranga, it's like this different vibration. So you get to sit in, it's into a different kind of vibration and different kind of space. And it's like a meditative experience that everyone's enjoying together. So I'm looking forward to being able to invite people in to enjoy that as well. That's on the Sunday.
Now, let's talk about growing new voices. Now, the Kōanga Playwrights program has become one of the festival's defining features. Why has supporting new playwrights remained such an important part of Kōanga?
Our people make great playwrights. They tell great stories and they make great playwrights, but they need to have that platform and that opportunity for people to actually, have come up to the whittle and to make that story. We've all seen some amazing plays and stories happening on our stages, and they start at a thing like this, where someone has an idea, they write their first draft, they've got an amazing mentor who helps them along, and then we bring together heaps of artists all into a room and we workshop it for a week, and then we read them for the first time to an audience. And so the first time that you hear a play, it's really exciting because you know that you're never going to ever hear it like that again. Next time it's going to be seen, it's going to have the set and the costumes and all that stuff, right? But when you go to a play reading, it's just like you're the first ears who are going to hear this story. It's a real cool thing. And this year we're going to be doing that over a brunch. So there's going to be like some pastries and, maybe a cheeky mimosa, just being able to chill out, listen to these new stories. I know, right? I'm really excited. There's a real cool one. I mean, there's 4 great whakaari, right? There's a real cool one on the first day called Monkey Lulu, which is a story about a wahine Māori who's also from Rarotonga and who goes back to Rarotonga and is helped through some grief, through a process of grief, by this monkey. There was the locals know there's a monkey, Lulu, and this monkey ends up being like her guardian angel.
Wow.
Talking to her. It's really quite funny. It's really going to be a real funny one. There's some more beautiful stories around grief and love. A K-pop teen,
Ooh.
a K-pop Māori play
Yes.
set in a high school, which is going to be real cool, and a brand new Te Reo Māori kids show as well. So there's lots of beautiful stories coming out this year.
Does that diversity reflect the next generation of writers, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think that we've got people writing about all kinds of things, not just about like in the 70s and 80s, there was a lot of writing about what's things that had happened before, about really obvious talking about colonization and about difficulties between Māori and Pākehā. Now we're seeing quite a nuance of people talking about all different kinds of experiences, and at the heart of it, there's still this demand and cry for tino rangatiratanga. There's this demand for a better life and a better way for Māori peoples, for Indigenous peoples, katoa. So yeah, I think that diversity is really there for our rangatahi.
Thank you for that. Productions like I Was Born to Speak explores reclaiming te reo Māori, honouring whakapapa, while Grassroots looks identity through humour and theatre. How important is the festival like Kōanga to create space for conversations like these?
I think that having us all coming together, people coming together with strangers who you don't know, you can't just watch it at home on your couch. You're coming together with a bunch of strangers, hearing someone's perspective from a solo artist, like with Grassroots with Rauretia Ormond, and his story of what it is growing up the son of a rugby legend and how he balances that with his takatāpuitanga.
Yes.
And then hearing about the challenges around wanting to reclaim your language. When we all sit together and we listen to these stories and we hear and we experience with them, it becomes a whole lot more of a collective, interesting experience rather than just listening to it by yourself or watching it at home. I think that us having these real life, no fake, no AI here, these real stories coming together, hearing them together, that's the source of life,
Yes.
I think it's really important that we come together and we hear these kind of different stories.
Can theatre sometimes start conversations that are difficult to have elsewhere?
I think so. I've had some great conversations leaving the theatre, and you know what? It's particularly interesting when you've got people who don't often go to theatre, who are hearing something or seeing someone's perspective for the first time,
Yes.
and then in the car on the way home, they've got all these opinions, and sometimes you've got a whole car load full of people and they've all got different opinions, and that's the best time because
Yes.
someone's like, nah, that was nah, that was great. No, I hated it when they did this. Or they'll be like, nah, that's because you do that. So you've got all these different perspectives all at the same time. I think it's real fun.
I can feel that already. Just as we speak, you can hear all the voices in the background and the nannies. Now, Aroha Ha celebrates Māori comedy while honouring the legacy of Aroha Awarau. Why is laughter such an important part of storytelling?
So Aroha Awarau was an incredible writer, man in the media, Māori, Niue, Samoan, and he was really known for his big laugh. And we lost Aroha at the beginning of this year, which was really sad. And so when we're thinking about what did we want to do this year at Kōanga, and Aroha was on Kōanga Festival nearly every year. He's had 2 of his plays developed. He was always a dramaturg, someone who helped other people with their script. We wanted to really celebrate him through doing a comedy show. The first time we've done comedy in Kōanga Festival. So he's bringing that through for us. And I think that our comedians are some of our best storytellers, right?
I
Because they tell
totally
a
agree.
story, but they make us laugh at the same time.
Too much laughing to the point we end up crying.
Yeah. I reckon that within the Māori and the Pacific space, right, we're really unique in that we move from comedy to tragedy just like that. You know, we move, like if someone's talking on the pai, they might be there, they might be talking about someone who's passed,
Agreed.
but then, and it's really deep, it's like hohunuas, and it's, you know, it's really emotional.
Yes.
And then next minute, they're making a joke about them and everyone's cracking up. You know, like the laughter and the tears, they all come right next to each other. And I've seen that at lots of different tangihanga from, you know, i te ao Māori, from within our Pacific communities as well, that laughter and the depth as well, or, you know, or as they're just right next to each other. And so I think that that's what makes what makes a really good story.
Amazing. Thank you for that. Now the festival closes with upu bringing together the words of 23 First Nations and Pacifica poets. What makes this such a fitting way to really conclude this year's festival?
This is a real homecoming for upu. You know, it's like we've got Nathaniel Lees, who is a legend of the stage, who will be who's presenting. We've got Nicola Kawana. We've got so many incredible artists who are going to be sharing this poetry in this beautiful show. And this show has been around Canada. It's going over to Australia. It's been around the world. It hasn't been back to Aotearoa for ages. And so it gets to be a real homecoming for these incredible performers.
What was your reaction? Upu was coming back, and Nathaniel. Were you excited? Because I'm a big fan of his and for any work that he does.
Absolutely. It's like this, that feeling like, because these are some of our best performers, you know? And so we're going to get to see them at doing their best, lighting up our stage here at Te Pou. It makes me feel really proud. And I really it's a great way to end the festival, because we'll have had a really big last couple of weeks, big, 10 days before. And on that last 11th day, we get to sit there and just be held by these incredible makers. And so I'm really, really excited. I love Nathaniel's cheeky eyes. Like he always looked like he's got the sparkle in his eyes.
He's always up to
Like
something. There's something he's up
it
in
looks
his
like
sleeve.
he knows there's something. And so does Nick, so does so many of our best performers. They look like they've got like a secret in their pocket, and you want to know what it is.
I also follow some of the amazing work that you've done. But before we wrap up our talanoa, Amber, for those who haven't yet get to experience this type of theatre, this type of festival, why is it perfect year to come along get them to join in?
I think it's a perfect year to come along because it's because there's so many different things on offer. If you look at the program, you'll find something that you're like, oh yeah, I can get into that. If you really like comedy, you can come along for that. If you've got whānau and then you just want to have a great free day with the whānau, come along to our whānau day. If you want to be transported, you'll come along to Ihi Rangaranga. If you want to get a bit glam, you might come along to Tākiritia. And if you want to have some really vivacious, fun storytelling, you'll come along to Grassroots and hear. And this is Raurete's Auckland premiere of that show, which took Wellington by storm last year. And so, and if you want to really immerse yourself, i te ao Māori, te Reo Māori, you'll come along to Born to Speak, and you'll come along to Waitawhito by Tūrongo Collective as well. So they're doing this amazing new show about the connections between te ao Māori and then throughout the Pacific. So you've got something for everyone to kind of get into. So I think it's a great year to try something different. Load up a car and come on out, or we're right by the bus as well. So you can jump on the bus link and wander over, and then, have a group, see some things, have some discussions, get into some real life connection.
where can our whānau come along and follow you guys all on socials? Can you give out all those details? And
Right.
also some shout-outs, some names that you want to sort of, maybe mum and dad and everyone out there you like to make as well.
Yes, okay, so I would like to, so Te Pou Theatre Kōanga Festival is from the 10th to the 20th of September. And so you can come along and see our program on koangafestival.nz or tepoutheatre.nz or on Instagram at Te Pou Theatre. You'll find us. No worries. I want to go a shout out to my mum, who's just recently turned 79. And I want to do a shout out to my bro Tangiano, who's just recently lost his mum, and to the Cook Island Church in Hastings, who put on the most amazing send off for her just this last week. I want to send all the aroha down to Papa Joe, to Mi'i, Tangiano, the whole whānau down there in Hastings, and send my aroha kia rātou.
Yes, big love from all of us here too, as well, and to you and the team. Amber, thank you so much for joining us and sharing more about Kōanga Festival. I'm so excited because it's just around the corner from where I stay. So, whānau, Kōanga Festival runs from 10 to the 20th of September, and at Te Pou Theatre, as Amber mentioned, in Tamaki Makaurau. So if you're down on the South Island, no mai, haere mai, jump on that waka and then come along, because you don't want to miss out. It's across 11 days. Audiences can enjoy theatre, music, comedy, as Amber mentioned as well, whānau. So it's a loved whānau day, celebrating richness, I should say, Māori and Pacific storytelling. So full program, once again, whānau, koangafestival.nz. Amber, ngā mihi kia koe, whātai tele lava for your time, and all the very best for another successful Kōanga Festival.
Thank you. Ka nui te mihi. Have a great day.